Okay, board members, my phone says 2:30. Y'all set? Here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. At this time, I would like to reconvene the meeting of the Community Unit School District 300 Board of Education to order for Tuesday, August 6th, 2024. Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Burkett. Fiorentino.
Present.
McKinday.
Present.
Scarpino.
Present.
Thomas. Zettler. Present. You have 5-0.
Thank you. Would you all please rise for a pledge to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. There have been no changes to the agenda. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Fiorentino.
Aye.
Thomas. Aye. Burkett. McKinday.
Aye.
Scarpino.
Aye.
Zettler. Aye. 5-0.
Thank you. Board announcements. Ms. Zettler?
Yes, I just wanted to make a quick statement for Christine Burkett, who apologizes that she's not here at this time, but she had conflict with work that she could not change and, come here instead. She will be here hopefully later on to listen to a couple of the interviews, but whichever interviews that she cannot be here for in person, she will listen to on later on before we make our decision to who we're going to appoint. Thank you.
Item 6.1, I would like to read a statement, please. Dear members of the District 300 community, at a special meeting on July 15th, 2024, the Community Unit School District 300 Board of Education announced the resignation of Board Member Randy Gauthier of Rutland Township, effective June 26th, 2024. The process of appointing a board member was also shared at that time and is summarized as follows. In order to be eligible for the board vacancy, an individual must be all of the following on the date of appointment. First, a United States citizen. Second, at least 18 years of age. Third, a resident of Illinois and District 300 for at least 1 year immediately preceding the appointment. Fourth, a resident of Rutland Township. And fifth, a registered voter. Certain types of state or federal employment and holding an incompatible office are disqualifying factors. Additionally, a child sex offender, as defined by state law, is ineligible for board membership. A maximum of 3 persons from any one township can serve on the board at any given time. Those interested in serving on the board were invited to submit an electronic application and provide a written letter of interest no later than noon on Friday, August 2nd, 2024. Applicants bear the sole responsibility for ensuring their application and letter of interest are accurately completed and submitted on time. We have received applications from 5 eligible candidates. Each candidate has been invited to tonight's meeting to provide a 3-minute statement summarizing who they are and why they have interest in joining the board. Additionally, the Board of Education will conduct a 1-hour interview with each candidate in closed session either tonight, August 6th, or Tuesday, August 13th, 2024. I will now invite individual candidates to the podium to provide their 3-minute statement. First, Leslie Lamarca.
Hello, my name is Leslie Lamarca. I reside at 1124 White Pine Trail in Pingree Grove, Illinois. Good afternoon, school board members, D300 staff and administration, and D300 community members. Thank you for the opportunity to come before you today and provide some insight into why I would like to serve on the school board again. First and foremost, I want to say that I supported Ms. Gauthier's candidacy from the beginning, was very happy when she was elected, and am very sad that she's had to step down. I wish her a thorough recovery. As far as why I applied to fill this vacancy, I wanted to say something about how these are important times and big decisions need to be made. However, one indelible nugget of wisdom that getting older has given me is that all times are important, and all decisions made by entities like this one are big and and important and very impactful to many. Having served on this board as well as others, I understand how imperative it is that the board be whole, complete with the number of voices that is intended to have. This is what empowers a board to work most efficiently and appropriately for the constituents it serves. My background and experience includes over 9 years of experience as a school board member, both for an NKEC, otherwise known as the Cambridge Lakes Charter School, and this board. The bulk of my professional experience is in human resources, marketing, communications, and project management. But I spent the last 5 years leading nonprofit organizations and ultimately being accountable for every aspect of fiscal and operational management for those organizations. I've been a community activist and organizer for over 30 years, involved in numerous community groups, leading and serving on various committees, and taking part or organizing community-minded events. Lastly, but probably my most favorite thing, is that I'm a former D300 parent who, along with my husband, raised 2 high-achieving children that attended D300 schools. I'm happy that I'm able to apply for this opening, and am very pleased to learn that you have a stable of applicants from which to choose, including others like my former board mate and friend, Joe Stevens, who has years of applicable experience as well as a financial expertise. It is also great to see others here that I don't personally know, but I'm sure are seeking this role with good intentions and a heart to serve the D300 community. I want to thank you for your time and consideration, and I look forward to my in-depth interview.
Thank you. Next, Dr. William Doran.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Smith, and the District 300 community at large. My name is Bill Doran, and I'm here this afternoon to share some information about myself and to express my interest in filling the current vacancy on the District 300 board. My wife and I have lived within the District 300 boundaries for over 30 years. I currently reside in the village of Gilberts. I have 2 grown children who attended District 300 schools. I retired as an employee from District 300 in June 2021 after 34 years as a teacher, coach, assistant principal, and district level administrator. I am grateful for what District 300 has done for my family and me. Over the years, I have made it a priority to give back to our school community. This mindset has not changed, which is why I am interested in filling the current board vacancy. In addition to my tenure in District 300, I hold or have held many other leadership and community service roles. These roles include, but are not limited to, a trustee for the District 300 Foundation for Educational Excellence, a board member for the Algonquin Rotary Club, on the advisory committee for Harvest Christian Academy, a board member for the Northwest Chicago Fellowship of Christian Athletes, CEO of Northern Kane Educational Corp., a founding board member of Northern Kane Educational Corp., program coordinator for Hampshire Junior Whips Travel Basketball, and I've served as a volunteer coach at both the Dundee Township Park District and Tri-Cities Little League. While there will be a lot to learn if I'm selected to serve on the District 300 Board of Education, I feel my wide range of experiences will ease the learning curve and provide a smooth transition as the board seeks to fill this important position. I feel my experiences alongside my value for public service will guide me in being a contributing voice on the board as we collaboratively seek to further improve our school system. I understand the importance of community members engaging in public service. I understand the importance of working together as we collectively seek to provide a meaningful, engaging learning environment for our students. I have committed my entire adult life to the development of young people, civic work, and community volunteerism. Thank you for your time and consideration as the board seeks to make this important decision to fill the current vacancy. Thank you again.
Thank you. Next, Mr. Joe Stevens.
Thank you very much. My name is Joe Stevens. I live at 909 Fairmont Road in Pingree Grove, Illinois. I am retired. However, I was a healthcare executive in both Rockford and in the Elgin area. And then I have served in the last 12 years or so doing leadership training for several consulting companies. I recently retired from that. I became the president of my HOA and retired from that, and I am now the police commissioner, one of the police commissioners for Pingree Grove, Illinois. Dr. Scarpino, Mrs. Zettler, Mr. Fiorentino, Mr. Thomas, Ms. Burkett, I'm sorry that she's not here. Please say hello to her for me. Mrs. McKindy and Dr. Smith. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to address you today regarding this open position. I want you to know that I have applied to fill this position as I believe that I have the experience necessary to assist the board in continuing to function at an optimum level. I'm aware that that is not always easy. As you know, I have served on this board myself for over 17 years, which gave me a wealth of experience, having only left the board a little over a year ago. My interest in serving is to assure the board continues to thrive in educating our students and in focusing both on education and financial security. Education is the #1 priority of this job of the board, along with keeping it fiscally sound. Had Randy not resigned, would I consider this position? The answer is likely no. However, in that her position is now vacant, I want to assure that an experienced and qualified active member can replace her that will continue the good work I know we had going when I was an active board member. Being that I know all of you very well except for Mrs. McKindy, I think that that would be to your benefit in selecting who you want to work with. And of course, I know that Mrs. Lamarca and Dr. Dorn are well known as well. I am a straightforward and honest and enjoy the debate and discussion, no matter how lively it gets, but also know when it is time to get on board and support the majority position should I be in the minority. While it may have been quieted somewhat, today's atmosphere has continued to be explosive for school boards across the country. All you have to do is look at YouTube to find that out. And I feel strongly that you must block out the noise and stay focused on educating students. It is not easy today to be a school board member. I am aware that Mrs. Lamarca has applied. I wasn't aware today that Dr. Dorn had. So you have a lot of experience to choose from, and you should make that choice based upon how you feel you would be best served with regard to the people who have applied. Regardless of the outcome, I shall always be a strong supporter of public education, and especially D300, but I would not wear a tie to meetings.
Thank you, Mr. Stevens. Thank you. Our next speaker, Mr. Henry Hansen.
Dr. Smith, school board, and community members, thank you for the opportunity to introduce myself. I am Henry Hansen. I live in Gilberts, Illinois, and I am a recent cum laude graduate from Hampshire High School. I am currently enrolled in ECC, and I think I would make a great asset to the school board because I have a unique perspective not currently represented. I have had 13 years being a student in the district. I had a 504 as well as an IEP plan, which has given me experience with special education that the district provides. I was also heavily involved in sports, the fine arts, as well as a multitude of other extracurricular activities. I also have firsthand experience with the curriculum that our schools provide, and I also would have experience in how the policies would impact our students. As someone who's come to board meetings and spoke before, I know the importance of listening to others and also engaging in a respectful dialogue. I want to use my experience to help support current and future students for the D300 like I have experienced. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Next, Mr. Richard Arts.
All right. Thank you, board members. Thank you, administrators, and thank you, staff, for giving me the opportunity to speak to you today in regards to my application to be a District 300 school board member. My name is Richard Arts, and I live at 232 Alpine Court in Gilberts in Timber Trails. And been a resident of the Fox Valley for the past 25 years. We moved out here from Georgia, but come to love the Fox Valley, and it is my home. Went to St. Charles North, attended Aurora University, where I got my master's in criminal justice, bachelor's in political science. And since then, I've taken my opportunities as an adult to at least attend to public service. Worked for communities and schools in Jefferson Middle School in Aurora to help at-risk youth, to prevent them from joining gangs. Also worked at the St. Charles Park District for 10 years. And then spent as a assistant supervisor at the Kane County Circuit Clerk's office as the civil family team supervisor, where we dealt with a lot of juvenile abuse and neglect cases, child support, divorce cases, and instances where youth are at risk. Also, currently I work at the Kane County Treasurer's Office, where I'll operate on vendor maintenance, which is to ensure that the taxpayers do not get ripped off by financial scammers and people claiming to be vendors. So we're trying to at least save your tax dollars. And I'm currently a Kane County Regional Board of School Trustees Vice President, representing Rutland Township. Been there since 2023. And if selected, I would, in compliance with state statute, I would resign that position effective that appointment. And as a resident of this great county and of this great township and of the district, I want our students to succeed. Being on the other side of the judicial system, I do not want to see people on that side. The fact that you would have to see me as a court clerk meant something bad happened, or you wanted to at least seek help from the community. I want to make sure these students succeed and have a unique experience making sure that these students succeed. And with that, I yield back to the board. Thank you for your consideration. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you to all the candidates for your interest in serving on the Community Unit School District 300 Board of Education and for providing your statements. We will now move on to item 7, public participation. No one has signed up for public participation. Board discussion. Any board members? Nope. We will move on to item number 9, the consent items. Do I have a motion to approve the consent items?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Aye.
Aye.
Burkett. Serpino.
Aye.
Thomas. Aye. Zettler, aye. 5-0.
Thank you. Roll call action items. 10.1, approval of DESA contract. Do I have a motion for the approval of the DESA contract?
So moved.
Any discussion, board members? Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
McKinday.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Burkett. Fiorentino.
Aye.
Scarpino.
Aye.
Zettler, aye. Thomas, sorry.
Aye.
You have 5-0.
Thank you. Item number 11, closed session. Do I have a motion to go into closed session for the purpose of discussing 1, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body, 2(1). Number 2, collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning a salary schedules for one or more classes of employees, 2(2). Number 3, the selection of a person to fill a public office, 2(3). Number 4, litigation, 2(11). And 5, security procedures, school building safety and security, and the use of personnel to respond to an actual, a threatened, or a reasonably potential danger to the safety of employees, students, staff, the public, or public property, 2(8). Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
McKinday,
Aye.
Fantino,
Aye.
Burkett, Scarpino.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Zettler. Aye.
Motion passes
5-0.
5-0. Folks, what we will do now is we will be contacting each member who's going to be applying. Probably I'll come on out or something, and then we'll get you, okay? Thank you.